Hello and welcome back to episode 21 of Magic Knight Rayearth. Now that we've got that vindictive witch out of the way, we can go on inside, hunt down Lord Zagato and this. But first, a sneak peek into the private thoughts of Lady Emerald, who must be feeling a great deal of despair. Oh, it seems she has a visitor. Who could it be? Oh, goodness, what do you want? What part of go away don't you understand? If she wasn't here, what? If she wasn't here, you'd still be a vindictive witch. And now the whole group's here. Wait a second. If she's under an expulsion order, what is she doing here? I think she'd know by now that he's not one to take people ignoring him like other useless things. Do you know what that might be? Not only is she vindictive, but she's jealous too. What a piece of work she is. Good riddance. Finally, she will be no more an annoyance. I mean, sometimes you can admire persistence, but that's just her showing that she's insane. Come now, lady, you know full well that you can't change his mind. Like calls to like, after all. Yeah, there's obviously something going on behind the scenes here, and it should be pretty obvious what it is by now. If it's not, don't worry, they'll tell you in due time. Now admit, this place looks a lot less appealing to the eye than it did outside. Of course, I guess you could say the same thing about these iron golems, couldn't you? For being made of iron, they sure are awfully susceptible to slashy death, aren't they? Yes, from here on out, you're going to want to be more conservative with your MP because it will be awfully valuable in the very near future. Not to say that if you're in a touchy situation you can't use it, but if you don't think you really need to, slashy death, as you've just seen from here, will be more than capable of doing the job. And that'll let you save those spells for when you really need them. Such as, well, you know who's waiting in here. You know who's lurking. And you're going to want it for that a lot more than you will for a few minor behemoths who really aren't that threatening. Or in this case, I guess I should say behemoths, palette swaps. The only thing to say is don't be so reckless that you're saying healing is overrated. If you're running a bit low, throw out a heal spell. That's all. You just don't need to be calling in the machine for everything here. For that matter, you really don't need to be casting otherwise. An omni-target spell will be a time saver, and that's about it. It's not going to do something that you wouldn't be able to do on your own. It's not going to save you from a battle that you otherwise can't win. It just saves a little time. And these guys don't really seem to, if they have an omni-target spell, they really don't like to use it, so slashy death is more than enough. Well, I guess it's a bit deceptive to say because there's no omni-target slashy is enough. It'll work on anyone, it's just that because there's no omni-target, which are the ones that are going to do the massive damage, there's no situation where you're really running a risk if I don't heal right now. It's game over. You'll see the need for healing wind or for summoning in Windom a mile away. There you go. Because you won't be changing your armor and swords again and thus resetting them to level 1, try to avoid running away. Let's see if there's anything useful in here. Nope, nothing. So let's just move along. Okay, some black dragons. Now, ooh, critical hit. These will hurt. Ow. Ducked a little bullet there. Again, where you have the Omni targets, these are the ones that can get you into trouble. Yeah, this is probably a good time to call in Windom to save you. They've got the Omni target spells, they will use it, and you saw earlier, that will be where the damage comes from. If they don't use them, you're safe, but this is the case where you can't let your guard down until you've only got one, because if they fire them off at the same time, you're in trouble. But because it's not a boss, so don't have so much HP that you will need to be saying, I have to heal up every chance I get. Once they're down to 1, you'll probably have the time to get back to food to take care of any emergencies. Otherwise, just, again, it's any random, it's just a matter of be careful. And I guess the other reason, of course, not to run away if you don't have to is you'll gain some more levels. These enemies give you a bunch of EXP, and for what's coming up, and you all know what's coming up, well, part of it at least, there's never a reason not to gain some levels. This part might be a little difficult to navigate. There are some dead ends, but if you go down one, it's not much space for backtracking. Got some new enemies. Sure enough, there's more palette swaps, including yet another version of Pfizer. They almost palette swap as much as Mortal Kombat. Not quite, though. No one can palette swap as much as they do. But again, they don't tend to show, if they have a multi-target spell, they don't really tend to show it. And if they're not going to show you a multi-target, you're pretty much free and clear. You'll know if you need to do a healing or not. In this case, they're really not going to show you them if they don't have it. If they have it, they're not going to show it to you. I'm not sure they even have them. And in that case, means you're fine. I'm not that fond, I'll admit, of the background music. There's just not much there. It doesn't seem to fit really the rest of the game. I think, at least. I'm sure there's probably some who love it. I'm just not one of them. So it's just a matter right here. We slashy death the Pfizer wannabe. Hopefully the last time we see these things, they can't possibly have yet another version. At least I would hope not. Where are they going to put it? Armor levels never hurt because if you've got time, if you can get a boss fight to a nutrition bundle, you'll see. And only one power chimera, how very kind of them. We're going to take this thing and send it to the slashy death graveyard. And this monster will provide a fine conclusion to this episode of Magic Knight Rayearth. Come back to episode 22 when we will continue pursuing Lord Zagato. He can't hide from us for very long. This is Ashi. Take care.